What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 12 of The Road to Glory with FC United Manchester. So yes, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are good. I've got another month to recap with you. This is the review for the September month. In fact, however, I did include one game from October. I'll explain a bit about that in a second. But anyway, this month's been a fairly solid month. I'll just highlight the results for you. So in this time, in terms of league performance, in 5 games we've won 3, drawn 1 and lost 1. We lost to Kettering. They're up there in the table. I think they're second and we're third. So that kind of result is one that I'm not going to get too disheartened about. It's the kind of result that come the end of the season might be the difference between perhaps promotion and promotion and the playoffs, or playoffs and just mid-table. But at the moment, I'm not going to kind of panic too much about that result. So anyway, first game of this month was against Worcester City? We'll go with that. This was a away game. We won 3-1 away. It was a fairly convincing performance. We were leading 3-0, and we managed to see out the game despite conceding in the 81st minute. Looking at the stats, we probably deserved to win. We edged possession. We had a few more shots, and although both teams had the same amount on target, their keeper really didn't make too many saves. He only, in fact, kept one out. But anyway, first goal of this game, just a well-worked passing move. I can't remember who scored this one now. But anyway, this was in the 9th minute. I'm pretty sure the ball comes in. Yeah, it does. And Norton's there. That is a typical Mike Norton goal. He's been doing that all of last season and into the start of this year. He's not stepped up quite as well as I hoped he might, but he's still been a kind of invaluable player to the team. Anyway, right here with the assist, Wilkinson burying that. Good passing move, just showing a bit more pace and a bit more attacking presence than their defence was showing defensive presence, I suppose. And then in the second half, we got another goal to make it 3-0. McDermott, this time the scorer. Cheeky header from a set piece. We did, as I mentioned, concede, unfortunately, in the 80th minute. It would have been nice to keep a clean sheet, especially away from home. It's a good kind of morale booster. But I'm not going to complain too much. It was a solid 3 points. Keeper probably should have done better. That was a cross, I believe, that he totally fluked. But one of those things. But 3 points on the board, that's what we've really got to look at. So the next game of the month was another win. This was against Blythe Spartans, who last year came up. I think they'd gone down the year before last, and then last year they went up in our league through the playoffs. So this was kind of a good kind of game. It was against a team who I think last year actually beat us in one of the games, so we really wanted to set the record straight here, and we did with a goal that came in the 36th minute. Ball to the back post, not cleared properly. Davies back to Wright, and Wright managed to follow it up, having tried to get an initial cross in. That made it 1-0. That was a good solid home win. Nice to get a clean sheet. Perhaps would have liked to have scored a few more, but I'm not going to complain. We then went to Bradford, PA, who are in the playoff places, or were in the playoff places. So they are a team kind of pushing for the promotion, you know, a team that it's one of these results like the game that I mentioned earlier, where it's a game that it's a good win, and if we'd lost I might not have complained too much, but then come the end of the season it could really be the difference between a league position. So every point really counts in this league. It was good to get the 3 points on the day. First goal here was pretty scrappy, but Norton did eventually bury it, and that came in the 16th minute. And then we had a pretty nervy second half, and it wasn't until late on in the second half, in the 80th minute, that we hit them on the counter-attack. Who was the goal scorer here? The goal scorer was Norton again. Yeah, he's played pretty well recently. He did struggle for the first few months of the year, but he's really now getting some form on. And Wright and Norton, of course, 2 players who were here when I first came to the club, really linking up well there. Anyway, the next game was a board draw, 0-0 with Brackley Town. Not going to show that. And then we went to Kettering Town and lost 1-0 at home. I'll just show the stats for this game. We probably should have won the game. We just really didn't take our chances. We didn't have many shots on target. And in the end, they scored 1-0. Probably could have been a draw and probably deserved a draw. But it's one of those things where we just have to look forward. And we did look forward. We came up against Halifax Town, who I believe are in the same division as us. They're in the Blue Square Bet North as well. I was pretty sure they were in the same league as us. But this was an FA Cup qualifying game. 3-0 away from home. A very convincing result. Norton getting on the score sheet twice, and then Peter Holmes also able to score. So that was a really good kind of, I guess, a good result, really. It was a good morale booster, and we've now had a nice break going into the last game of, not the last game, the first game that I'm going to be showing you this episode, which is the first league game of the month. The reason I chose not to cover this game as the kind of game to kick off the month is because Chester, who we're playing, are top of the league. So this is a game where I'm kind of hoping we can put up a fight and kind of at least get a point to kind of reinforce our promotion ambitions. But it's a game which it's not going to be easy, and we've got to be quite realistic and say a draw would be a really good result against Chester, because they are a strong team in this division. But anyway, this was the third goal. All three of our goals came in the second half. This one was in the 88th minute. Just good passing play, pretty standard goal, kind of thing I like to encourage. Spreading the play wide, really looking for the space and working an opening. Everyone getting a touch on the ball. Bit disappointing that we gave away the ball here, and this is a really long replay. I didn't realise we gave the ball away there, but you can kind of see from a general perspective our attacking philosophy, and of course it's a Route 1 goal, isn't it, that we score after I've just talked about passing. But no, Norton with the nod on, Holmes there to run onto it. That was his first goal for the club, so that was really good, and that made it 3-0. I'm trying to remember if there's been any transfers in. I'm pretty sure there's not, but I'll just double check. No, I don't think there has been. If there has been, I'll cover them in the next episode. I got in a few regens in case I didn't cover them. Peter Holmes there is a good 16-year-old. He's the guy who scored, obviously, a second ago. And Billy Reid here. Actually, I think Billy Reid came in during the break, but he's just a really good kind of flexible midfielder. He's 16. Very excited about him as a prospect. He's got a reasonable future ahead, I think. But anyway, enough rambling, we've got today's game to go on. So, let's show the league first. We were second in the league, but teams around us have played their game. Oh, no, sorry, we were third in the league behind Kettering, because Kettering beat us in the last league game we played. However, we've played less games than everyone else, so we've just slipped outside the promotion zone. If we win this, we'll leapfrog 3 teams in 3rd, 4th and 5th, who are all on 20 points. One of the teams of which is FC Halifax Town, who of course we beat 3-0 in our previous game. So we come into this game with a bit of form. In terms of goals conceded, we've only let in 5, Chester have let in 7. We've just not scored as many as Chester, so this could be an interesting game. It's going to kind of be a battle of attack versus defence, I feel. But it looks like they're playing a 4-4-2. Pundit is predicting a Chester FC win. We are at home here, so I'm hoping we can put in a solid performance, to say the least. Get straight onto the team talk. I'm going to go with controller here, just because I have a feeling that Chester play the counter-attack football. And we'll go with just a nice calm go out and enjoy yourself and let everyone relax. So Wes York is back from injury now, which is good news for us because he is our first choice right winger. And I'm hoping we can kick this game off with a good score and get a good win on the board here, especially after losing to Kettering. It'd be nice if we didn't lose 2 on the bounce, especially in the league. But it looks like we're on the attack here. Norton to Kirby. Fantastic signing from Tranmere. Danby holds onto the ball though. 3 minutes in and we're creating chances. That's a fairly good sign, but we've got to watch out for the counter-attack. We are at home, of course, so I expect to see Chester away. Really try and hit us on the break. They've got some high-quality players, and we need to stop the ball there. Clear it. Oh, that'll do. I was a bit worried then. I think they actually hit the post. They're appealing for a penalty, obviously. 2D match due. I didn't see it, in the words of Wenger. Arsene Wenger doesn't see anything. He gets on my tits a bit. But anyway, as I record this, it's I want to say the 30th of January, so transfer deadline day is coming up. Obviously, when this video goes up, it'll probably be after the transfer window is closed, but just from the transfers which are going on, there's been some pretty high-profile ones. Drogba, I'm not sure if Balotelli's gone or not yet. I'm pretty sure he's gone to AC Milan. If he hasn't, then they've just scored. There's been links ongoing about the fact he's going to be going to AC. So, I want to know, in your opinion, who's been the best transfer of the transfer window, guys. So if you want to leave that in the comments, and I'll respond to any kind of that I feel, they've scored again. They've scored again, lads. No, but I'll respond to any that I feel warrant a response. I'm kind of feeling, and I was having a few kind of discussions with people on Twitter about this, and if you have Twitter, go get Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, go get Twitter. If you have Twitter, go follow me. Link is in the description. But I was talking to a few guys about QPR trying to stay up, and I think, and I say think, they're currently being linked with Peter Crouch and Chris Samba. If they get either of those players in, I actually feel like they could stay up. I feel as if Harry Redknapp, I've just done a bad team talk, not really paying attention. But no, I feel like Harry Redknapp, I know a lot of people are like, this is going to be Portsmouth all over again. But at least in my opinion, With Harry Redknapp, you get an expert man manager. He gets the best out of his players, in the sense that, I guess, when Mark Hughes was in charge of QPR, he really hasn't he didn't get the best out of his players, and I feel like Harry Redknapp's the kind of manager who gets, like, everything out of his players. You know, Portsmouth did a great escape one season under him, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, QPR are going to be like Portsmouth, they're going to get relegated, and Kirby scored 2-1. But, no, what was I saying? A lot of people are like, oh, QPR and ex-Portsmouth, they're going to go into administration, they're going to go down the league. Honestly, the reason that Portsmouth suffered so much debt and kind of the administration and financial problems they did was because of the chairman, not because of the manager. Harry Redknapp was given a wage budget, he used the wage budget, and then the owner of the club, I can't remember his name now. Who was the owner of Portsmouth when they kind of flopped? But basically, he pulled out a lot of money from the club. He kind of made all these promises about money, and then he didn't put in the money that he said he was going to, and he didn't really have the money to support the club, and that is why Portsmouth are where they are. It's not to do with Harry Redknapp and the wages. I'm not saying that that's not a part of it, but just at least in my opinion and from my understanding of the situation, it was more the chairman's fault than Harry Redknapp as a manager. And I actually think, I'm going to stick my head out here, that QPR are going to stay up. And it's kind of now dawned on me I've rambled about QPR for an entire game, but who knows. I am contemplating doing a series where I talk about real life football events and what's kind of going on. I don't know if anyone would be interested in that, but that's something that I could potentially do. I don't care about the team talk we lost. But no, that's a little bit disappointing because it leaves us outside the playoffs. But we've got to look optimistic here. We are 2-1 against the team who are top. Would have been nice to beat them because that could have given us a chance at pushing really on in the league. We have got to look at this realistically. In this division, only one team goes up, so a playoff is probably the best we can hope for, but that's certainly something I want to push for come the end of the season. But anyway, guys, thank you as always for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode 12 of the Road to Glory with FC United Manchester. If you've got any opinions, of course, leave them in the comments below. If you've got any feedback, especially about the idea of doing potentially a series where I just talk about real life football going on, or goings on, that'd be awesome. And other than that, guys, I'll talk to you in a bit. Thank you for watching. It's me, Jack, and I'm out. Peace.